The member for Mayo.
Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, my question is to the Deputy Prime Minister. Deputy Prime Minister, for several years my electorate has been promised an upgrade to the South Eastern Freeway between the towns of Crafers and Stirling. As you know, Minister, this is a federal road. In particular, there was a promise to extend the slip lane on the freeway exits that connect the two towns to create an effective third lane. This stretch regularly sees crashes due to the short ramps. I've met with the State Minister for Transport, Stephen Knoll, on the matter, and the Minister also recognises the importance of the upgrade. Deputy Prime Minister, when will these promised upgrades be completed?
The Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Mayo for her interest in the South Eastern Freeway between the towns of Crafers and Stirling, acknowledging that they are in her electorate and acknowledging that they're important towns. They have a role and responsibility, the people in those towns, to help build productivity, and they want to get home sooner and safer, just like all the South.
Member for Bruce.
I mean, if it's boring for you, it's certainly not boring for the member for Mayo's residents. It's certainly not boring for them. And our $75 million, it might be irresponsible. It is irresponsible of you. There are people in Australia who want to know about our infrastructure.
Deputy Prime Minister, resume his seat. The member for Bruce will leave under 94A. The Deputy Prime Minister has the call. Deputy Prime Minister has the call.
We are building, we are creating, we are delivering. Now, we understand the importance of getting people home. We understand about getting people home sooner and safer, Mr Speaker. Now, the South Australian Government is currently finalising the scope of this project that the member for Mayo asked about. Once it's concluded, project timeframes will be available, and we can get on with the job, and we can get on and build it. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. The Morrison-Marshall governments, working in tandem with each other, we get on with the job and we build things. With increasing demand on commuter and freight traffic, the South Eastern Freeway between Crafers and Stirling is being affected with increased traffic at peak periods. And we acknowledge the fact that there are congestion issues. We acknowledge that there are safety issues, and that's why we want to get on with the job of doing those sorts of things, not only in the member for Mayor's electorate, Mr Speaker, but indeed all electorates right around the nation. Now, Crafers has a population of 2,000. I acknowledge that Stirling's population in the Adelaide Hills is about 3,000. They want things to be built, and that's what we are doing. We're getting on with the job of doing just that. The South Eastern Freeway is the most direct corridor between Adelaide and Melbourne, as well as providing a vital link in moving freight between eastern and central Australia, and we acknowledge that the freight task is going to double over the next 20 years. And Mayo is an important part in that freight task. And I know the member has raised the matter with, you mentioned, Stephen Knoll, who's the Minister for Transport, Infrastructure, Local Government and the Minister for Planning. He's a good minister. It's an important issue and it's an important project. I acknowledge that. I know Minister Knoll acknowledges that as well. And the planning is important. It's critical. And working with the Marshall State Government, we expect to see this project commence and also be completed in 2019. That's next year. That's because we get things done. Now, I tell you what does threaten those sorts of things if a Labor government gets in, because there are going to be a lot of things that they are going to rip up. Just like the Andrews government when they ripped up $1 billion worth of East-West Link money. That's right. That's what they did. That's what Labor does. They just rip contracts up. They just rip contracts up with not a metre of bitumen being laid. That's what Labor's. That's all they're good for.
Prime Minister.